This is Yarn Hellions, Season 3, Episode 33. This is take 2, because I screwed up our last recording. I'm Christine Parker of Christine Parker Co. This is Sarah Flynn of Superfine Yarn Co. This is Grandma Dottie of hashtag Grandma Dottie IRL on Instagram. And we're the Yarn Hellions, and we have some fun yarn to tell you about, and books, and we're going to talk about Rhinebeck, which was this fall, that we're now getting to. Because, let's be honest, life is hard, and
things happen,
and we're just doing our best. So, shall we check in, Sarah? Do you have anything fun you want to talk about?
I have.
Or not fun, I guess.
I know, more not fun than fun. So, I'm closing down Superfine Yarn, which is sad, but also it's just too much with a full-time job. So, I've been, telling Christine about it for, months, and it's too hard to do both, and every day off I feel like I need to be working on yarn, and it's just kind of caught up to me where I need days where I don't work, and that hasn't been happening for years. And if I don't work, I feel guilty that I'm not working, which isn't a good feeling either. So, and my vacation time all goes to going to shows and not for vacations where you unwind. So I just got to a point where it's too much and I love it. And I'm going to keep Yarn Hellions and maybe some small batch dyeing and maybe some designing. And I'm going to have time for other things. So, thanks to everyone I posted already on Instagram. So thanks to everyone's kind words, and I'm so glad, and I hope you keep following us here. And
we'll have all kinds of other stuff too.
Yeah, we've got kind of
mischief to get into.
Yeah, and closing up the studio took a lot of effort, so we've been kind of MIA, but now I think with more free time we'll be able to get on a better taping schedule, and we've got things planned for next year. And and my other sad news is that I lost my dog Dexter probably almost a month by now. So I had talked about his health problems before, and he just was declining and had a really bad day, and I decided to take him to MedVet, and they were amazing there. If you live in Cleveland, just never had met me or him, and just were amazing, and just helped me through a really tough night. So
that's where we had Bindi put down last summer. It was also an emergency thing, and they are so kind there, and they're so wonderful. I imagine that's one of their big things.
All the time. Yeah. I'm sure they do it daily. But you wouldn't know it by the way the vet, she almost had tears in her eyes. She was so sweet. And then they kept asking, did you want this or did you want this? And oh, hello. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And then they sent me in the mail, they sent a little vial of his fur and paw print. So I think I'm going to do I have his little bone tag, and I'm going to do that with one of his paws in a frame. So that's my boy. So I was saying, he's not as in your face as Ripley. So I thought, but it's so different in the house without him, because he was my little shadow and followed me everywhere and was always emotional support. So
even the quiet ones, they leave a void in your heart.
So that's me. How about you?
Wah, wah.
I know. Come watch our podcast and let's talk about sad, depressing things. Christine has better. She has more fun.
I don't know. What do I have? It's so long since we were talking about how our last episode was in August. So now it's December, and that's 4 months. It's lots has been going on, but also it seems like nothing has been going on, Yeah. I don't know. really, like, okay, one of the big things that has been going on for me is I learned how to play Dungeons and Dragons. And so we have a group online through my Discord server that we get together once a week, like on Wednesday nights. Actually, we're playing later today. We play D&D. And my character is a dwarf barbarian named Borghilder Vancehammer. She has a warhammer, and she hits stuff with it, and that's basically her whole personality. So, yeah, I don't know. It's really fun, and it's a, like, funny, silly thing that we get to do once a week. And
I have to lurk and, like, watch you guys sometime because it sounds so fun.
It is fun. I mean, it's fun in a way. It's just like playing any, board game or game night with friends, but we're doing it virtually because everyone who's playing is all across the country. So that was, like, a big thing, for me that has been taking up a lot of my time, because learning, like, if you've never played D&D before, there is so much to learn. It is, like, the most complex. Like, I knew that it was, like, a big deal to, like, learn it, and, it's a complex game, but, like, even, like, it, like, surpassed everything I ever thought was possible in a game. What is happening? She's fallen off Comfy Mountain. She's got her heating pad. This one's a freeze baby. And so we've been listening to this podcast called Dungeons and Daddies. Sarah and I started listening to it on the way to Rhinebeck, New York. And we, like, listened to it for all, like, 9 hours of the drive and all 9 hours back. But it's, like, it's on, like, Spotify and Apple Podcasts and whatever. But it's, like, these comedians, they're, like, improv comedians, and they are playing D&D together, and it's wild. Our in comparison, our sessions that we play online are, like, nowhere near as unhinged as this podcast. So give that a listen if you're at all interested. And, like, that podcast, like, you can understand it without even ever playing any. Yeah, we both started listening to it without ever playing, and I listen to it now with my husband, Devin, and he's never played before and doesn't know how to play. So it's just, like, funny, ridiculous storytelling. Ooh, and can you hear her?
Is that what that was?
Yeah, she's just, like, she's licking and licking and licking and licking and swallowing all this air, and then her insides go, and then she farts. She'll fart all night, and it's just, like, the farts that come out of this dog, like, you've never heard anything like it, because she's so little. But I know, right? She's so little, but she makes big noises. So my nephews it's almost a year. James will be a year at the end of December, and then Scotty will be a year at the end of February. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to get these kids more toys, because everybody's going to get them toys. Yeah. But I'm like, you know what I'm good at? I'm good at books. Let me get them, like, let me flush out their libraries. Let me get them, some good books. But there's so many good kids books. Like, I cannot decide. So I was going to ask you guys to recommend your favorite kids books that you liked as kids, books that you've read to your children that you enjoyed, ones you've heard about that, sound really cool. If you could leave comments on this episode down below and let me know your favorite kids books. Any age, even into, like, I would also accept, like, up to middle grade chapter books. Yeah, anything you can think of. They can't read yet, so, like, whatever. Anything goes. I would appreciate that. Yeah, we're, like, getting into holiday time, and everything is all over the place, and we're busy, and so many, like, commitments, and the weather is poopy, and just, I don't know, lots going on. The end.
And then also for Clevelanders, I have my last show this weekend at 78th Street Studios, so I'll post more about it, but it's the Cleveland Bazaar, which is at the 78th Street Studio, so I'm excited, and I'll be selling the rest of my yarn, and I have some sample shawls, which I'm selling too, so for non-knitters, you can get those as a gift. And then, yeah, that'll be the last show.
Okay.
So that's all my little, like, intro stuff.
I'm so annoyed that the show is on a weekend that all my family's getting
That's
together.
when you're doing
we're having like
holidays.
Our Devoki family Christmas party. And my brother and his wife and the baby are coming up from Columbus, and my mom's like, "You must come over and spend every waking minute with the family." And I'm like, I will be so mean at the end of this weekend.
You don't want me for like 12 hours.
Do you want to talk about Rhinebeck?
I do.
Woolen Folk and our fun.
Oh my gosh.
That was in October, right? Our fun October road trip.
Yep.
Are you having trouble, lady? Uh-oh. Are you getting spicy?
It's like it's time for a nap, a real nap.
Yeah. So yeah, in October we made the Rhinebeck pilgrimage. We went to it's actually not in is it in Rhinebeck, New York? It was in Kingston,
We stayed
New York.
in Kingston.
Yeah.
And Woolen Folk was in Kingston, and then we drove, to Rhinebeck the next day.
They were like very close in the same area. And Sarah was doing the show at Woolen Folk. She had a booth. That was a really fun show.
It was so fun.
If you haven't been and you have the means to get there, we had a blast.
We're already planning to go next year because it was great.
Mm-hmm.
And wouldn't have to work. Just enjoy.
Could just go and enjoy.
I know. That'd be crazy. So, I didn't get to see any of the podcast porch and, all of that. So, I would be excited to go and just relax. But yeah, it was a great show. So many great vendors, and got to see lots of people in real life that I've only been internet friends with. So Needles at the Ready, Fiber Hustle.
I met Jake Kenyon of Ken Yarn. Did you meet him?
He's the one I missed.
Oh,
so that was before, and then I didn't see him when he came around again. So I missed Jake. But I met Rachel with you.
Yep, Rachel we got to meet of Wool and Vinyl.
And you've done collaborations with
I did stitch markers and I guess it's, I don't know if I should say what I did for Rachel because it was part of her Advent countdown. So you might them. You maybe not have opened that yet. But yeah, I designed some stuff for her countdown kit, and I did the stitch markers for Jake's holiday box, and who else did we meet? We were just like, there were so many people there that like we recognized and couldn't.
And then we're like, oh, can't go talk to them.
Yeah, like, ooh, you're too famous. I'm scared.
I know. We just like would watch people go
fangirling.
Like, oh my gosh.
We appreciated everyone who came up to us and was also fangirling.
Nice. Yes, it was so nice.
It was really fun. We met Kendra of Balance Skein, who made fun of those. She did those reels making fun of knitting podcasts,
which we're gonna do in a minute.
Yeah. I have a list. Oh, at Rhinebeck, we met Shayna of Stitchery and Hoopla, who just made me feel like a superstar. She was really sweet. Thank you, Shayna. Yes. And we at Rhinebeck hung out with our friends Susie and Val.
Which was so nice because we were too
saved
new
us.
And we're having trouble navigating, so they saved us.
Well, Woolen Folk is a smaller show the day before Rhinebeck. So Rhinebeck is the slang term for the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, which is at the Dutchess County Fairgrounds, which are freaking huge. It was, I mean, like, so big, these fairgrounds. And so when we got to the fairgrounds on Saturday,
Yep.
we were like completely overwhelmed.
The lines were really long.
Oh my God, there were so many people.
So we went and just sat for a bit and ate our lunch that we brought.
And then we were able to meet up with Susie and Val, and they were like, oh, we've been here all day, and we live nearby. So, like, we come every year. And they held our hands and, like, showed us where to go. Bless them. They saved us.
And we navigated through a few buildings, but it was pretty crowded.
Yeah.
And I've heard that Sunday it's a little less crowded than Saturday.
Oh, that would make sense. Because people, like Susie and Val were saying that people, like, line up on Saturday morning, you know, hours beforehand and wait to get in the gate so that they can get, like, the special colorways or whatever that sell out really quick.
And we were like,
Yeah, we're like, we'll come at, like, lunchtime.
But it was good because we've never gone, and like,
it was for sure an experience.
The best thing, and especially, I mean, the best thing was not yarn shopping, but meeting everyone, and it was like lovely to meet people in real life, and
so many folks said hi. It's like, oh, the Yarn Hellions. So next year, now that we like sort of have our bearings, we're gonna we'll do a Yarn Hellions meetup. We should just, like, all the shows that we are able to get to.
I was thinking we should do it for Great Lakes.
Yeah.
Just have a little, bring your chair and let's
buy
the food trucks.
Yeah. So in, 10 months, we'll let you know more details about if you're, going to meet up with us.
A Christine Parker design, or you won't be allowed in the circle.
Yeah. We could go two ways. We could talk about, that was a nice segue to some Christine Parker designs that are new.
I think we should.
Or we could talk about some of the yarn that we got.
I think we need to talk about the new design, or both designs.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me think. Which one should I do first? I'll do the which one? Huh?
Yarn Discovery.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Around the Table Yarns, our favorite yarn shop in Cleveland, this year asked me to do their special exclusive shawl design for the Yarn Discovery Tour, which was back in September. So since we haven't had an episode since then, I never had a chance to talk about it. But this is... Which way does it go? This way. This is the Copperhead shawl that I designed for them. It's a free pattern on my Ravelry and my Pay Hip. And it's just a simple asymmetrical shawl knit in garter stitch. You need 2 skeins of DK weight yarn. This is actually Sarah's yarn, which, unless you go to 78th Street Studio,
gonna be over.
Yeah, but you can use any DK yarn. Or actually, this pattern is great because you start in one corner and you just knit until you run out of yarn, and then you stop. Which is my favorite kind of pattern. I love using up yarns, but it's got this. It's just like all garter stitch. It's really easy, and it's got this fun, like, snaky zigzag lace detail on the edge. And it reminded me of a snake. So I was like, ooh, what's like a cool snake around Cleveland? Because last year I did the Cleveland shale shawl, which I named after like a feature of Cleveland, which is the Cleveland shale, which is like a fossil-rich layer of sediment or something underneath the city. So I don't know. I have fun thinking of names for these. But I think next year I won't be doing the Yarn Discovery pattern for them because Beth, who's one of the owners of Around the Table, told me she's going to try to design a pattern. So this is the last one, at least for next year. Am I forgetting anything that I should mention about it? Okay. We'll cook her. And then I have another pattern that I did recently.
And this just came out.
This just came out, yeah, like 2 weeks ago. Or a week ago.
Yeah, I was like...
This is the Astrology wrap. It is based on your big 3 astrological signs. So you start over on one end. This is your sun sign. It's got the symbol in lace. Like the eyelet details make the symbol for your sun sign. And then in the middle is the moon. And then at the end is your rising sign. So I did this with it's as a collaboration with Dye Mad Yarns to feature her astrology colorway collection. So she's got colorways for every astrological sign. Oh, do you have some? Show us. Show us your yarn.
So these are my 3.
Yeah, you can see.
Kind of hard to hold 3 up. Yeah.
Do you know which is which?
I don't, because they're not labeled. But yeah.
So like Sarah's would be, well, what are your signs?
Mine are Cancer, something, and Sagittarius.
Okay. If you don't know your signs,
to have Margot help me.
Yeah, if you don't know your signs and you want to knit this pattern, you'll need to know obviously your date of birth. Your time of birth is helpful, but not totally necessary. And then the place that you were born. And then you can just plug those details into, there's like an astrological birth chart calculator. I linked to it in the pattern, so it's easy to find. And it'll tell you your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign. And all of, like, your sun sign is your main sign. So if someone's like, oh, what's your astrological sign? You usually say your sun sign. So like, I'm a Gemini. And then your moon sign and your rising sign are like other signs in your birth chart that have to do with where the planets were when you were born. And like, they supposedly like, affect different aspects of your personality and whatever. So if you buy into that or are interested in it. But anyway, you can make this pattern regardless. Or you could also make it in any color you want. They don't have to be your...
Yeah, just colors that you like.
Yeah, just colors that you like would be fine too.
And Kelly has her shop open in Columbus, which we're going to try to get down to. So please, if you're anywhere near Columbus, go and see Dye Mad's store and support her.
So this is a free pattern. It's on Ravelry and Payhip. I'll put the links below. And I would love it. I would love to see it if you knit it. It's, again, the astrology wrap. It's like astrology, get it? Because it's a shawl. I have to thank Janelle in my...
That was that.
I'll try to cut it out. I don't know if it picked up on the mic, but the dog just ripped a big fart. I have to thank Janelle in my Discord server for the name for this pattern. So, this took me all year to design. I just have to say, put that out there. I think Kelly contacted me about a shawl or like just an astrology pattern like in March or April, and it took me until December 1st to like get it together. Because this lace, I have to say, like, it's very simple to knit, but it was really a pain. Yeah,
circle. I think anything with like circles has got to be tough. So I have to find the right needles tonight. I wanted to show off the skeins, but now I'm going to ball them up and get it ready.
Yay! It goes really fast. It's because it's only stockinette with yarn overs and knit two togethers, and so it's a good pattern for learning to read a chart too, because it's got the written directions and the charts,
and you'll know, like, especially with like a shape, like you'll know when you mess up, when you're doing like, it right.
Yeah. So that's that.
Cool. We've got other yarn to share too. So, oh, well, while we're talking about Christine Parker things, I switched from stickers and pins to patches because I wanted something different. But look how cute these are. So you get her design for the month, and you can choose which format you would like. But I'm saving up patches, and I have my Yarn Hellions bag, and pretty soon I'm going to start ironing them onto the bag. Yay. So I can take it to shows. So I'm very excited. But I think I need a few more before I start. Then I can have like better placement ideas.
Organize them.
It's really fun. So
thank you.
If you haven't thought about it, it's nice to get. I'll get a little envelope in the mail. Just be like, oh, this is nice. A little patch today. So
that's Kick-Ass Flare Club on Patreon.
Yes.
And I just put the poll up for. I announced the designs for January, February, and March. So
animals.
They're little forest friends. We've got a skunk, a possum, and a toad, and they're obviously saying snarky. They have snarky captions.
Well,
so those will be fun. I'm really excited about the skunk.
I have been off grid because of closing the studio, and we never talked about wool gathering, which was September, because then we didn't tape and we went to Rhinebeck and I was closing up. So I had to talk about a few makers there that I frequented, one of which being my neighbor, who was super sweet. Her name was Rebecca Lowe. She was the Woolly Works, and it's thewoollyworks.com, and she was so sweet. She just was like so chatty and was telling me all about her sheep, and she's kind of like new-ish to it. Like she really got into it. She went to the Kentucky Sheep and Fiber Fest and then learned from someone there about raising sheep and decided to do it, and now she's doing it.
What if I just like went to I was like, Devin, guess what?
I bought 5 sheep.
Just like raise them in the backyard.
Oh my God.
She must have like property or something allows her to do that.
So, so it was lovely to talk to her. And then I grabbed, for Christine, did you have yours? It's okay if you don't.
Hold please. I will go get it. And unpause.
Woo, magic. So the best thing was she had photos in her booth and on the website about each sheep and where their like personalities, which is super cute. And so you can read about them. So I got one for me and I got one for Christine. So I have Bella, the sheep, and it's kind of like a lighter color. And then
I have Barney.
So it's so super cute. So I think I'm gonna do a hat, but I haven't decided yet.
Ooh,
do you know what you're gonna do? I just
think
want like a woolly.
That would be really cozy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what pattern this would be awesome for is Jason's cashmere hat.
You were talking about that.
It's like,
why don't I know what this is?
It's just like it's like a beanie, and it's ribbed, but some of the ribs are cables, just simple like 2x2 cables. And I think it comes in one size, and it's a free pattern, and I've made a ton of them. If you've never done cables before, that's a great one to start with. Awesome. I could get up and
more hat patterns because I'm drawn to super complex shawls, and I need when my brain isn't working, I need just hats. And then she grows loofahs too, so I gave her one last time we met, and I haven't used mine yet, but it's so cool. So she was telling me, I didn't even know all the things you could use this for. So you can like slice it off and use it as a soap rest. You can use it as a scrubby for the shower. It's really cool and very sustainable.
What is so interesting, it's so like you grow that. It's a gourd. It's like a squash. And then I looked it up one time, and then like, so you grow these gourds, and then you let them dry out on the vine. And I don't know if you like peel the husk off or whatever, but it leaves you that. And then you can like take it in the shower and use it as a scrubby, and which I did. And it's so nice. Except that sometimes you have to like, I was plucking the seeds out of it. Like
I saw a seed in there.
Kept falling out. There's like, it's like the nicest texture because it's like
It's not
scrubby,
super
but
abrasive.
it doesn't.
Yeah, it's soft. So that was very cool. And then my across the way neighbors at Wool Gathering, which here's another one that, well, I guess September, October back to back is pretty close together for 2 road trip yarn things, but I would like to go back and just as a customer.
Where's Wool Gathering?
Yellow Springs.
Yellow Springs. Okay.
I
haven't been to that one yet.
It's really fun. Ba Yarns, which is Brenda and Heather. I don't know if you've seen their like logo.
Cute.
Yeah, super cute. And they were across the way and I was by myself, so they were super sweet to like look out for my booth if I had to run to the restroom. And also Tina's Twisted Fibers, they really took care of me and would help me out. So they do a lot of self-striping and gradient yarn at Brenda and Heather, and so I was chatting them up. Do you remember I posted when I was there, they had the candy corn sock yarn that was like, it was like striped like candy corn.
Oh, fun.
So cute. So they have really cute like seasonal stuff, but I got this, which is Peacock, which is Truffle a Tuft base. 80% wool, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. So these would be my first fancy cashmere blend socks. So I'm excited about that. And now that I have more time to knit, I need to start knitting some of these things I've been buying. So
I'm like, I'll just like quickly work on this sock heel while Sarah's talking. So I have something to do with my hands. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 11 stitches in and made a mistake.
So maybe turning a heel is not a podcast.
Nice try, Christine. These are going to be, well, I guess I could just show them off. They're, you know what? No, I won't because they're a Christmas gift. For a person who I don't think watches this, but just in case.
Still.
So I will put my socks away.
And then I just had the few Woolen Folk and Rhinebeck things that I got too. Or do you want to show off anything? We could show ours off. We got some similar stuff, so we could show those at the same time. Kitty with a cupcake.
Yes. I put mine together. Is yours?
It's together.
Together. Okay.
Yeah. But we could show, especially because I think she'll probably do it hopefully next year too. She's a designer and she's from Kentucky. I met her at the Kentucky show years ago. She's so super sweet. She had a booth with junk yarn and I went over just browsing. I thought I might get a few stickers. No, she had a trick or treat box, and because this was middle of October, I wanted to start opening it, and Christine talked me out, which was good because then we got to do it on the exact day. So it was a 13-day advent calendar for Halloween, and you got a charm for a charm bracelet every day. And here, I think I put it in one. So you get these little boxes. It was really cute. So fun. And little extras of little candy and stickers and stuff in there too. But just the cutest thing and so much fun. I forget what day it started on, but like...
It was like the 19th or something. And Sarah, when we were at Rhinebeck, she wanted to like open it, she's like, let's just open the whole thing right now. I'm like, no.
Oh my gosh, I really wanted to. But you can see there's like a pumpkin, there's a witch hat, there's like, I'll try and turn around, there's like vampire teeth. Oh my gosh, a cupcake. There's like a potion.
A bat. So it was fun. That was a fun little kit to open up.
So cute. And then she had a special yarn collaboration too, which was with Valkyrie Fibers, and I need more self-striping sock yarn, but it's so cute. They're like really nice like fall colors. It's like peach, burgundy, lavender.
There's like a minty teal green in there.
And it's a high twist BFL sock. And the series is Fiber Coven, Witch's Brew, which Fiber Coven is their podcast together. Kitty with a Cupcake and Valkyrie Fibers do the Fiber Coven podcast, if you need another podcast. So high twist BFL, 80% BFL, 20% nylon. So add this to the list.
I'm excited. I've never used, this is my first.
You said!
My first self-striping yarn. So as soon as I'm done with these other socks that I'm making for a gift, I want to make myself some sockies.
Totally. And then my other purchase was Megs & Co., who was my internet pal through, oh my gosh, just online shows. She and I, like, sometimes had our, like, time slots, like, back to back, and she is a doll. And so I went over to her booth and bought a mini set, and these are, like...
so pretty.
It's hard in the plastic, but it's, like, very cute colors. So I gotta find, like, a hat or something to do with these. So I was happy
Is that, like, 100 grams of yarn total?
Yes, 520 grams.
Okay.
So is that enough to...
Yeah, that's like, you could make a shawl, you could make, or like, you know, like a small shawl. A scarf, you could make a hat, you could make mittens, you could make sakis, you could make, any like one skein project.
Yeah, I'm thinking hat probably. But, so that was fun to see friends. And then Why Not Fibers was there. Kat, who's always so super sweet to me, she was like down in that. It was crazy. The day went so fast, like, I thought, I'm going to, like, have time to go talk. And especially when you're vending, you just don't have time to, like, spend with other people. So, and my super big purchase.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. So, I went to, there's this bag maker, and I kept walking by. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. And I got this enormous bag.
I love enormous bags.
Oh, my gosh. So, it's, like, this, like, printed fabric that she does. And then this cute stripey stuff at the top. And it's enormous. Like, for some reason, I thought, like, I do need, like, a sweater size kind of bag. But
that's way more than sweater size.
I got back to, I meant to say, I split my booth at Wool & Folk with Rose of Rosy Posy bags. So I came back and it was either her or her friend was like, that's a blanket size.
Yeah,
it's huge.
It's big.
Like, it's, like, bigger than Dottie.
You could put Dottie in. You could put Phyllis in there.
So, but it's lovely, and I have to look at the label to tell you it's Krista Jekyll, and she had every size and all handmade, and look at this, like, drawstring. So I brought all of my stuff over today, and it held everything. So I'm actually kind of glad that I can, like, take this to shows and have it as my first Rhinebeck weekend purchase. So that was fun.
I have...
yeah.
So you know what?
Where's your shawl?
Where is that shawl? It's like in the black hole of project bags, like, you know, because I'll put like a knitting basket behind, but like next to the couch, and I'll be like, this is where I'm gonna store all of my current projects, and that way I'll never lose anything. And then it just becomes like a black hole of, like, you know, somebody's coming over and I just dump everything in there real quick.
The couch pile?
Yeah. Well, that was easy. I found it. So I didn't buy a ton of yarn at Wool & Folk, and did I buy anything at Rhinebeck? I don't think I did, just beads.
Yeah.
But I did love the junk yarn and Kitty with a Cupcake booth. So this yarn, when I saw it, there were 2 skeins left, and when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, that looks like a 70s couch. And don't you know, the colorway is it's called Twist and Turn Barbie, but it's part of the junk yarn, like, 70s collection, which I was just looking yesterday to see if I could get more of this. And it's mostly sold out.
Oopsie.
Yeah, but it like made me so excited. It's like cream color with like orange, and there's some hot pink speckles in there, and like avocado green and some like mustardy colors in there. So like basically, well, they can't see it, but like that painting.
Yeah.
So I got 2 skeins of this. I was thinking I wanted to cast on with this yesterday, and I was trying to think of a pattern, like a 2 skein. It's DK weight. I would love a 2 skein, like a shawl. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I literally just designed one of those. So I might make another copperhead shawl, or perhaps a last year's pattern, which was also 2 skeins of DK, the Cleveland Shale shawl.
Yeah.
So that was junk yarn. And then the other junk yarn
It's so pretty.
skein that I got, it's just a skein of sock yarn. And I started making my project with it already. It was a Halloween colorway called Sally, and it was inspired by Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is that a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
It's a debate for the ages.
Like Angel versus Spike.
Yes.
So I started making a jeweled cowl, which is it's a cowl that's knit in stockinette, and it's got this mesh lace that you add beads. So it's just like a panel of...
Get it closer. Oh. There we go. You can see them now.
Yeah. So I also got these beads at Rhinebeck from Bead Biz, and they're black light reactive
Bright
orange beads. Yeah. So I love this pattern. I've knit a bunch of these, and it makes a great gift. It's one skein. It's
so good.
Fast on big needles. It's size 9 needles, so it goes really fast if you don't mess up your lace, which I did. I knit like... I was
going like...
Yeah, it's supposed to... the angle is wrong. It's supposed to, like, be diagonal in one direction, but somehow I switched it, and, like, the last 6 rows or something are going this way instead of this way. So I'm like, shit, I have to either unpick it or I don't know what I'm going to do.
It's a design.
I got it, yeah. I could just keep going in the new direction and probably no one would ever know. But so I will update on that progress someday.
And then I was like, well, I have to get one skein from Rhinebeck. So, Bumblebee Acres Fiber Farm, they had like a bunch of fandom kind of things, and they had Lord of the Rings inspired. So I got this, which is very much colors that I love. And I don't have a lot of things with like black, so I think that's cool. So there's a little like black splotches, bubble sock. Minas Morgul, which I don't know, it's an area in Lord of the Rings, but I don't know which one, so I should
some
read about
fan
that.
You are.
I know. I'm like, it's not one of the main ones, but it's there somewhere. So, bumblebeeacres.com. So I was excited about that.
That'll be cute.
Yeah.
What do you think you'll make with it? A hat? Socks?
Will you
just hold it and squeeze it sometimes?
I've been really into the self-striping socks, so I think since I have 2 of those in the wings, I'm thinking, hat or match it with something with a shawl.
Mm-hmm. Cute. Yeah. Any other...
No, that was all of like
stash to show off.
The haul. I have some kind of random other things, but I was saving for other podcasts since I knew we were catching up a lot. I have some of our friends' yarn that she dyed that she sent me that I will share another time. But yeah, I didn't want to overload this episode since we were catching up. So we definitely...
let me check my notes, but if
oh my gosh,
there's nothing really else we can talk about. Books.
Cool.
Oh, so I guess I should mention, like, I'm like in this weird place in my business where I don't really know what I'm doing or what direction I want to go in, or like, it's just like this, like I'm thinking about working with a coach and I don't know, taking classes. I don't know. But anyway, it seems like the direction I'm heading is business-wise is going to be more towards like art and selling t-shirts and pins and things like that, which it's kind of been headed that way for a while. And I think I'm going to take a break on knitting patterns because the astrology wait, what did I call it? The give it a harder name, Christine. It's the astrology wrap. Almost killed me. It feels like that was a really difficult pattern for me for some reason. I don't know why I had such a hard time with it. But so now I'm like, I don't ever want to design another knitting pattern ever again. So we'll see if that ever comes up. But it's fine because I designed my business in such a way that I can, it's fluid. It's, I can dabble over here. I can dabble over here. I can do, It can pivot and evolve. So, but anyway, I don't know why I'm saying that, but
there's t-shirts available on TeePublic, and I didn't wear mine, but I will.
I wore one.
The next one. See. And they're really nice and soft.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started selling, I opened a TeePublic shop, which is, I freaking love it because I can just like put the art up and it puts it, the like software puts it on 15 different kinds of items.
Oh, you can have it on this or this.
Yeah. Whereas when I do items through my website, it takes me forever because I have to do all the images and like mock up all the photos, and you know, I have to do a mug separate from a t-shirt, separate from a blanket, separate like everything, and it takes me so long, and it's just a huge process.
Part of it, and just upload it.
And I hardly like the price that I get as an artist, like the profit is hardly different, like TeePublic versus my own website. So I'm putting lots of stuff on TeePublic, and I think people seem to like it because it's easy to shop. You can get my designs on all kinds of different products, and yeah, so check it out. I'll put my link in the thing. So, books?
Yeah.
You've been reading a lot.
I've been reading a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm at 97 out of 100
oh my
for the
gosh.
year. So I'm going to make it.
That's so exciting.
But yeah, I've been reading like a chunk at bedtime. Like every night I read for like an hour and a half at least. So yeah, and I do at least half on audio. So like the commute and walking in and out of work, and at lunch I usually walk around and listen. So but I have so many, it's hard to like choose, but I'm gonna narrow it down. And thank you to Amia for this. And then I had read Christina Lauren really early in the podcast, and you were the one that told me it was 2 people, which I didn't know. But I kind of got in like a funk, and I'm like, I just need like light, happy, and that's what these are. They are like a rom-com in book format. So you can pick any of these, and you will not be disappointed. I did them on audio. They're fantastic on audio. I did the Soulmate Equation. I did Something Wilder, which is the newer one. I'm not even going to like say they're all fun. They're all that romantic tension, but there's a little bit of like extra, struggle throughout till, they're wonderful. They're classic. They're a little more adventure-y than like a normal romance, or a little more like strife than a normal like romance, but
a little bit more angsty.
A little bit, yeah. Like
Okay.
Something Wilder, she's like a she lost her ranch in like the West, and she ends up doing tours, and then there ends up being like this like treasure hunt in the middle of it, and like danger, and so
danger banging.
There might be. So, yeah, so fun. So I'm just going to blanket recommend everything Christina Lauren does. I just did a great mystery, which was One by One by Ruth Ware, and so good. I did the audio on this too, and the narrator is so good. There was 2 females that it went back and forth with the narrating, and she did she did all the voices, but like she has this, you can tell she's kind of younger, and both of these women had like a little like times where they were unsure of themselves or a little shy, and she has this like little waver in her voice, like if they're like speaking up for themselves or something, and be like, excuse me, and she just did it so well.
Interesting.
And so the premise is it's this really fancy like startup in London, and it's kind of like a Spotify, except like they would get Lady Gaga to be part of it, and you could listen to whatever Lady Gaga was listening to at that point. So her channel would be public. So then it was just like a sneaky way to like feel like you were more in tune with like people you admire. So whatever. So they take a vacation at a ski chalet, and things start going wrong pretty quickly. And so it's from the point of view of one, there's a chef and then like a concierge at the ski chalet. So it's from the point of view of like the concierge, because it's pretty small. And then there's like 7 people that go from the company. And then there's one kind of shareholder woman who's real shy from the company that goes. So it's from both of their point of views as things start unraveling in it.
Oh, no.
And involves skiing and snow and disasters on an epic level. So just, I can't recommend it enough. I had so much fun.
Tense just hearing about it.
I know. So it's just, I just, and then I'm actually, because it's so good, I'm in the middle of Turn of the Key, which is another one by her, same narrator. And it's really spooky. This family hires this nanny and stuff is already going wrong at the house. And it's like in remote Scotland and things are going to start happening and she's going to have nowhere to go. So.
Ruth Ware did The Woman in Cabin 10, right?
I think
Is
so.
that her? Which I haven't read, but like I sort of know the premise of. That's the one where somebody on like a cruise ship sees someone being murdered or like thrown overboard or whatever, but none of the passengers are missing. So like, who was it? Whose body went overboard? Did she really see it? Is she losing her mind?
Yeah. It's great. It's like I just did like Alice Feeney too, and they're the same level of, it's mystery, but it's not like so super like either disturbing or gory or anything. It's suspenseful, but like still fun.
Yeah. But you wouldn't call it a cozy mystery, probably.
No, it is not cozy because it's like, there's a lot happening. So definitely not. I have some cozy mysteries that I need to read, but and then I've read gobs of romance. So if you just are a romance reader and you want to message me and we can talk about what I've been reading, but I've been reading absolutely every type of romance out there. I've been doing I've been posting in Discord about my, I've been doing lots of like monsters and Vikings and barbarians and, so I've been a little all over the place. So it's lovely and fun and escapist and it's magic.
We value all kinds of literature on this podcast. We value Shakespeare and the classics, and we also value monster Kraken romance.
I did Kraken. That was good. I did surprising. Out of all, the orc one was like real good. Real good. So, you know.
If you have monster or shifter romances that you would recommend, I bet she would love to hear about them.
To talk about it.
So I have done poorly on all my reading challenges this year.
A little bit going on.
It's just been like some years I've been trying to read 100 books a year for like 6 years or 7 years, something like that. And some years I get it, some years I don't. This is a year that I'm not going to make it, and like whatever, it's fine. I'll start off strong, and then I don't know, this year has been like, I feel like I've been in a never-ending slump. I'll have to start 10 different books to find one that I'm like, that I'll stick it through to the end. And one of the books that I managed to stick it all the way to the end, which surprised me greatly, was the Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. This is Kendra's favorite part. What is it? Okay. This book is 700 pages long, which all these people recommended it to me, and they're like, no, like, don't worry about the page limit or the page count. Like, you're gonna love it. This book is so good. Just read it, and stop complaining. So I was like, okay, like, I'll try it. There's no way I'm gonna last through a 700 page book. Well, I did, and it was so good. So this book, is about, I had to copy and paste part of the blurb because I tried to, when we recorded this episode 2 weeks ago or whatever, I stumbled over this. So I'm like, I'm going to say it right this time. Anyway, so here's part of the blurb. The Historian is a quest for the truth about Vlad the Impaler, the medieval ruler whose barbarous reign formed the basis of the legend of Dracula. Generations of historians have risked their reputations, their sanity, and even their lives to learn the truth about Vlad the Impaler and Dracula. Now one young woman must decide whether to take up this quest herself, to follow her father in a hunt that nearly brought him to ruin years ago.
Come on.
what else do you need, people? It's medieval monasteries. It's Vlad the Impaler. It's Dracula lore. It's history. There's dusty Ivy League libraries. There's secret letters and whispered conversations. There's they travel all over Europe. And they like go into these like creepy tombs and like this like creepy architecture, and you know, I don't know, they're like, this book was so epic. And the reason it's 700 pages is because like a lot of the historical stuff is really dense, and you know, the traveling and things like that. And there's like a bunch of different it's written sort of weirdly, where there's like a bunch of different narrators, that there's like different people following this Dracula trail like through history, and so you like are bouncing around through a couple different points of view, and there's like regular dialogue and like you'd expect to find in a novel, but there's also like you might be reading part of a book or a series of letters, or you know, there's like different formats too, which for me, it made it really interesting. And I talked my husband into reading it as well. And he's like, really, 700 pages of history? I'm like, just read it. And he did. He also read it. And that's like not his cup of tea at all. So if any of the stuff sounds interesting to you, it was a great book for like fall, like nice. Sort of, it was like spooky and kind of like bone chilling, but like not enough that I couldn't read it before bed, you know, because it was going to give me nightmares. It was just like the right level of creepy. That's awesome. So totally recommend. That was a good one. We put Dottie to sleep.
She is out.
What a good old lady.
Cool.
Anything else?
No.
For
that was like
this episode?
A lot.
I'm like all wound up now from telling you about that book. So
maybe you'll get on a reading spree.
I gotta go take a nap after this, because I have Dungeons and Dragons later. I gotta be fresh.
Borghilder has to be ready with her.
I gotta hit. It's a hammer.
Oh, sorry.
Gotta hit stuff with my hammer. Okay, well, we're, like I said, we had sort of a dry patch. We're going to try to, like, be posting more often and recording. We want to share stuff with you and get together and hang out. So keep your eyes on our YouTube, and our Instagram. Make sure and our TikTok. Make sure you're following us and subscribed and all that good stuff. And we appreciate you so much hanging out with us, when we do post episodes, and just like being our friends, and we just love you guys. So thanks for, gosh, we're in our 3rd year now of Yarn Hellions. So thanks for hanging out, and we will see you in a couple weeks. Bye, everybody.